Hi Libra, welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. Libra, this is your reading starting today on the 22nd of July, and I'm shifting it up a bit. I'm shaking it up a bit, just due to the information that I receive over the recent time that has passed. Is like I was thinking about maybe even starting or creating a second channel. But for now, I'm sticking with this channel, and the messages is sort of more and more leaning towards just your higher path, your awakening path. And so whether we do love readings or we do general readings, sort of the basis of it probably is going to land somewhere around your awakening path. So if you're on this very awakening or spiritual path, which I believe everybody of us is, never learned that one. Is that we're awakening to what's going on right now, awakening to our own inner truth and power. And I just want to receive and bring messages for upliftment on this path right now, because there's so many crazy things going on that I think it's crucial that we find our own power and our own stability and our own joy and humor and fun. So I'm going to start off today. It's sort of going to be somewhat the same reading as it was, not the same reading, but the same layout as it was for the love reading, your last love reading. If you haven't checked that out, you might want to do that, where I end the reading with 14 cards, and we're going to do that today. We're only going to have 3 cards today, but there's going to be a silent part at the end of the reading. So you're going to receive a lot of information, and if you listened to me before, you know that the first 5 minutes can be about something, and the last not last 25 minutes, but in the 25th minute, it can be like we can be somewhere completely different than where we started. And there's some profound truths coming out once in a while, or every now and then. And I feel like having a silent moment at the end of it, even if it's really, really short, it takes a moment for you to just absorb everything, let go what doesn't serve you, and receive what does serve you. And then I'm moving into the extended to sort of have a blank page, or for you to be more in the allowing state, if that makes sense. So if you feel drawn to that extended, there's going to be a link in the description box down below. But that's at the very end. So let's see specifically what's going on with you. And I start with the Angel Answers. Love this deck by Dorian Virtue, to get just a general vibe, and then we clarify it from there. So 22nd of July. I love the 22nds. It's a master number 22. Double emphasis on you get to know me. I can't do 2 things at the same time. Some people call it man, like it's the male that can't do 2 things at the same time. I call it human. And it's just that the number 2 itself is conversation, communication, and relationships. And then the master number 22 is all about making it happen, manifesting. Number 11, which is a master number, about dreams, fantasy, visualizations, what you want. Then the 22 comes in to sort of make that happen. So that's your basis for the numbers. Let's see, Libra. What is going on for you, Libra? Can we? No? Okay. Perfect. Okay, so let me just show you first. It's interesting. The first message that's coming out, I mean, we're starting with the general, like it's the general, like what's going on overall for you all. But we're going to start off with a very specific message for maybe one person. And that is, it says, and it reverses the images. For a while there, I kept apologizing for it. And then I was like, oh, it's cool because it's being mirrored, like everything else is in your life is being mirrored. And then all of a sudden, excuse me, it's like it even brings something extra when it's reversed, because I get to see it from this perspective, and then something different shows up when I turn it towards the camera. So now I'm keeping it in just because I can. Just trust me on it. Within the next few weeks is what it says. But what I'm focused on here first is that some of you guys might do regression. You might have done some sort of regression, going into hypnotherapy or doing some kind of that, where you go from adulthood and back to childhood to sort of sort things out, clearing things out with your parents, having divine guidance coming in to help you. Is something around those lines. But in the general sense, I just get this family feeling. There's a lot around family right now, and there seems to be a lot of recovery around family, a lot of healing going on, a lot of stuff coming to the light, understanding, deeper insights. It can mean that because we're on this awakening path, because we're on this path to a higher energy, some people just don't want to come, or some just don't have it in them to, I mean, if you're in this awakening path, you probably feel like you haven't had a choice but to awaken, if that makes sense. You haven't had a choice but to find out, but to go deeper and then understand yourself, having that personal growth and spiritual growth. And so when you look at other people going, like, they don't even want to, like, you have a suggestion here, and Libra being the justice sign that you are, the justice person that you are, I think there's a lot of people being a justice person, but that's what the Libra represents, is that when there's an unbalanced energy and you actually have a way to fix that unbalanced energy for someone else, and they just don't want to take it, it's so freaking annoying. It's like, but I have it right here. I have a presentation on how you do this, or you just check it out and see if it fits. If it doesn't, just leave it. And they're going, nope. And that they won't even hear you, because it's like they don't have it in them to change it. They don't want to change it, and that might just be their life purpose, if that makes sense. It's almost like you hear somebody say, it's almost like they're put on this earth just to annoy me. And it's somewhat true. It's somewhat true, because some people at some stages, and I'm sure you've been that same, of course not particularly you, Libra, but your friend, your friend has been that way, that they probably have been a catalyst for somebody else in their life. Meaning, if a lot of people would explain or express who you are to somebody else, like or even to you, like they would describe you as a person, they would probably just say a lot of beautiful things, and a lot of that you try to be understanding, you try to be just, you try to be a good friend. Not try to be, you are a good friend, and we can really rely on you, Libra, and so forth. But it's just that one person that might have a different story. It's that one person that you got really close, or with your family members or coworkers or friends, some person that you got really close that has a different story, and it was never your intention. It was never your intention to hurt anybody. It was never your intention to on purpose manipulate the energy in some way, shape, or form. But there might just be that one person that would differ to say, Libra is not all that beautiful. Libra is actually, Libra did this to me. And to you'd be like, I couldn't stay in that relationship, or I was offered a better job, I had to quit, or it wasn't on purpose trying to hurt them, but they might have a story for somebody else saying, well, they left me when I sort of needed them the most, and so they're not all that fancy. So you can be a catalyst for other people as well. So that's not what I'm talking about. But there's certain people in your life where I feel what's going on right now because of this family situation and some sort of regression going on for some of you guys. It's thinking back about your childhood, understanding that, wait a minute, this might have been a pattern ever since back when. This might have been a thing that's been going on since you were this young. And you just have come to the realization that where you're going, when you continue on this path and you just continue to grow and you can continue to evolve and you just sort of become wiser and wiser. I was going to say not necessarily smarter, but I don't mean that. I just mean in a sense that this is not a mental, it's not a mental wisdom in the sense that you're learning maths and you got so freaking good at math. I just mean that it's a wisdom about life. It's a wisdom about just having a deeper understanding about how all is connected. And I mean, you could even excel at certain things, but I just want to say you can be low vibing person and still be really good at math, if that makes any sense. So I just want to clarify that. So that you didn't feel like I said that you were stupid. You keep evolving, you keep growing. There's something about this family situation where you're starting to understand that some people might not come. They just don't want to join the party. And the further up you get, the more you start to see them in a different light. Like the more you start to were they always like this? Were they always this negative? Were they always bitching and whining about all these stuff? Were they always this manipulative or well, maybe not. Maybe that has also increased for them. That is, they sort of just settle in even deeper to their way of life, their way of thinking about things, and life is going to take a toll on them. Don't mistake it for anything other, because that's going to be a tough one if you don't want to move with and it's not like somebody else or even you are trying to have somebody come in the right direction. It's the fact that they've been wanting to go in a higher direction, and for some reason that you might never know, they're just settling into their ways. They're sort of a bit set in their ways, and it's almost like they're put on this earth to catapult, be a catalyst to just really propel, just trying to find as many words as I can about this, this bouncing, I see this like the studsmatta, I would say in Swedish, bouncing carpet. You don't say that in English. The bouncy thing, you can just stand on it and jump. It's like that bouncing off. That person could just be somebody that is being put in a lot of people's lives to have them propel and excel in their own spiritual and personal journey, if that makes any sense. And it's like you come to the realization that some of those people actually might be family members, and it's like you're on this path where you're maybe not necessarily cutting people out of your life, like lifting whoever lifts the phone these days, that's speaking of my age, but whoever sends a text or whoever talks in wireless, whatever, it's like vibration will take care of it. That's what I'm getting. Vibration will take care of it, because when I look at the next card, and this is very light, bright, so you might not see all that much. This says recovery on the bottom, and the recovery is just you starting to mend the pieces that were a bit fractured in the lower vibrational state, if that makes any sense. It's almost like you had, it's a weird analogy, but it's almost like you have these different little pieces of clothing, like little patches of clothing. There's just it's like you gathered one when you were 6, and you gathered another when you were 17, and then another, of course, so many more, and so many, you know what I mean, weird analogy, but sometimes that's what I'm being given. So little patches here and there, which sort of eventually makes up for a whole sweater or for a whole pair of pants. It's like it's time to put those two, to piece those together, to have a whole set of pants or a whole set of sweater. Isn't that abundant? For you to now wear, for you to now start to use, if that makes sense. You've pieced it together, and the recovery is not, I don't feel like necessarily it's you're so sick and you're in recovery. Maybe that's for just 1 or 2 people. But the general message is here that you're piecing it together, and the recovery, it's an interesting thing because we have a recover. It's like we uncover and we unveil and we undiscover or discover, but this is a recovery. So it's something that you're, rather than stripping it away, we're re-putting it back, like we recover it. And it's not like a cover up or, and as I said that, there's like I get little tinglings, I don't know what to call them. It's not orbs, but it's like little tingles that sort of just flashes by, like sometimes they're dark and sometimes they're light, and they're light when I get like a confirmation that this is the truth. So this is very much the truth. That happens all the time, but for some reason I just needed to point that out today because maybe there's some of you guys that also see those things in your peripheral and on the side of your eyes. And also that's an indication that something is true. Something is true. Yes. However, it shows that you're going back, like we're piecing it together. We're covering it up where it was like displayed. We're cover it up again. So you will feel whole and you will feel protected and safe and secure. And I love this. You won't see this, but this is you sitting down here and like in a yoga pose almost. And then in the back here, where I see when I look at it like this, there's another, like there's your inner being, there's your guide, there's your spirit team being with you, with humongous, it's that person or spirit's angel wings. They're just looking a bit like a turkey, if you wanted to. You might see that it's a face there. It's an actual face there. So it's like you're bringing in the divine now. You're bringing in your recovery place is to sort of come back into your own, let go of the traumas and dramas even in your own family life. And like I said, it's not like you're gonna ring them up and cut them out of your life. The heightening, you don't say that, the rising or the raising of your vibration is gonna take care of that. That's what most people want to do sort of in any situation. If they're dealing with a person or a situation, they think that they need to go directly to the person or situation and deal with it so it sort of works itself out. The thing is though that it sort of never does, because it's almost like you're the projector. You're the projector in the movie theater. Let's say you're the projector, and you're displaying, you're playing up your movie. Your manuscript is being sent out through that projector, right? You're projecting it onto this movie screen. And you know in real life, in 3D life, that if you wanted to shift, if there's something wrong, like every once in a while, I don't think that has never happened now in later, maybe it's digital now, I don't know. Back when, it could actually be like, oh shoot, we have a problem here with our projector. We need to take a pause and fix it. Nobody in their right mind would ever walk up to the movie screen and try to fix the characters in the movie screen or try to fix the screen. They know that something's up with the projector, so we need to fix the projector, right? And what's going on in there. Maybe you need to fix the manuscript, or you need to fix the film and how it's been. Does it flow, or does it get stuck? You know, this is the same thing. You don't have to deal with your family members per se, or a romantic partner, or a friend, or a coworker. This could just speak to anything and anyone about anything and everything, because it's really good knowledge to have that you never get to go and fix the movie screen. You always fix whatever it is that you're projecting out to the movie screen, right? So if you want to shift what you're seeing there, don't go to the movie screen and talk to it, because nothing's going to change. It's everything about what you're putting on the screen that's going to change. So take it back to yourself and understand that you're the projector. And if you want to see something different play out, if it's super, super tough what you're seeing, first stand up and walk outside of that movie theater. Don't start to try to shift or change anything before you sort of have left the situation, because it was too much to take in what's being projected on that movie screen. But if you're somewhat balanced and you understand, and this is what I pick up where you're at now, if you're balanced and you feel like you're on the right direction, and that's the reason, it's actually quite interesting, because the reason why this even comes out, why we even have this recovery, and how your divine is right, you're so happy and content. It says recovery, but the recovery is all about finding that balance again, that inner balance again, and sort of going to a higher place, higher vibrational place, and even dealing them with this family situation is an indication itself that you're moving on up. Because when you weren't moving anywhere, it was sort of status quo. It was sort of the same things repeating itself, and you were having maybe issues with it. You maybe were a bit frustrated over it, but it wasn't it wasn't to the point where you shifted things, or where the fact that you're shifting is why you're noticing people are falling away. That's what's going on there. And so what you do then is you now heighten your, I want to say heightened. Okay, so you heighten your vibration. You heighten your vibration. Ooh. I have a tiny bit of a tiny spider here on me. If that's important for somebody. You're like a little spidey. I want to go there. A green one. A green little spidey. Interesting. Where was I? Right. Okay, so I need to address that spider thing first, because it might be that something really has your attention. Something might really have you drawn into focus, and you sort of can't let it go, or you think you need to sort the situation out. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, what is this? There's like a little, and because it has, I've no plans with that spider. Yeah, I've no, and the spider is very like friendly. It's super, super small. There's nothing to be afraid of. It wasn't even if it was larger, at least not in Sweden. It's ridiculous how happy and safe the wildlife is here. Yeah, there's something to it, to completely shift your focus, to go then to something like a spider web and a green little tiny spider had me completely not think about you even. For a split second, it was like, okay, we're gonna deal with this here now. So there's something about it to completely shift your focus, and then to completely shift it in a way that it doesn't suck you in back to the thing that you're trying to leave, if that makes sense. It has to be something that is like a green little tiny spider. So if you have those around, you might want to focus on those. So back to what I was saying, heightening your vibration, meaning you're shifting your what you're projecting out to the movie screen. You're shifting that vibration, you're heightening that vibration. And because you're heightening that vibration, you're sort of now in accordance, and what has started to come out lately so much is resonance. Instead of attraction, resonance. You're so much in resonance with all these different things and people and situations on this newfound vibrational level that you're starting to resonate and attract and be around those things. And now that is what you're starting to project out to the movie screen. What happened with the mom and dad, friend, coworker, sibling, what have you? What happened to those? Don't know. This is a different manuscript. Should we not find out what happened? Well, if you want to write them in, if we want to write a character into this manuscript so that we can have them back on the screen, by all means do so. But the whole thing of moving up or heightening your vibration is that you actually get to choose and get to have the people that match that is going to be so much easier to deal with. And now from that perspective, if you're sort of occasionally that movie that was already put in motion is now coming on television, and it's like, oh, there they are again. I look at it so differently now. Like, I remember when I watched that movie and I was only 13 years old, and now when I watch it and I'm 35, it's like, wow, it looks so different. So there could be just one thing that you're seeing it very differently from this newfound perspective. But it's also that you have the right to not write them in. Also, they have the right to come along for the ride. If they raise their vibration, welcome back. Welcome to my manuscript and what I'm projecting out. Welcome to this story. Because here we're happy, and here we try to lift each other, and we want to inspire each other, and we want to love each other. We don't try to manipulate and bring each other down here. So, but what I feel, Libra, is that they're not coming. I feel that the people or the situation that you're dealing with, it's not supposed to come with you. Let it be, as Beatles said, the way that it is, and let it make the choice to come along or not. Don't try to make somebody come with you. And that's both the recovery and both the healing at the same time, because it's like sometimes can be tough to let something go. And for a while they're physically 3D, they might think that you're acting really strange because you haven't said anything, because you're letting vibration take care of it. Because you literally would only just create, and you know that, you would only create like an upheaval. You would create drama if you actually made that call to say, I'm cutting you out of my life. I do not want to be with this lower vibration anymore. Like, that would just start so many ripple effects that it's just unnecessary. Let law of attraction, law of resonance, let your newfound vibration create the new manuscript and start to project that out to the movie screen, and enjoy the movie that you're creating this time around. Okay? What else do we want to tell? It flipped, but it sort of just landed there. Wisdom. I just wanted to tell you, wisdom. You come into wisdom. Oh, I just have to show you this because it's so metaphorical. It's like you gathered all the, like I said, you're becoming so freaking wise. You're so wise, and you gathered all the information. You even wrote a book on a subject. The sun is on your side. It's really joyful. It's really happy. The little doggy there is talking about loyalty, trustworthiness, friendship, all the beautiful things that you're sort of walking towards here. And it's like you're leaving the old family home behind. You're leaving the old, this is so like pale in comparison color-wise. So it's like we're stepping away from it with love. There's no need to just, unless there's a need for it for 5 minutes, then go ahead and just yell your heart out and say what freaking stupid people they are. and then move on to your wiser path and just love them. And just understand that this is the path that they've chosen and this is the path that you've chosen. It's number 5, so it is a change of your life path. That's what's going on right now. Conflict and defeat. And another 5. So, yeah. Wow, you really have worked against you. Some might even have called you the black sheep. Or why do you just have to be so... Can't you just do what everybody else is doing? Can't you just be like everybody else? No, you can't. You're choosing a different path. So it's like conflict and defeat. I just see how you... Because this, like, there's people walking up and they're sort of engraved in stone. And you're walking against mainstream. You're walking against it. And you kept your focus on the light, like the flicker of the light has always shown you the way. And you did it. It's like you just want to show you that you sort of have walked against everything else. It's a second number 5. It's a complete, I don't want to say a 180 because it wasn't like you were going complete one direction and then just doing a 180. But there's like a complete shift. It's a complete shift for you into this new life path that you're choosing. I feel like this is going to be the final card, and then we're going to move into the silent part. Wow, 30 minutes on that. Interesting. Virgo. Was it? I think Virgo had this card. Wish fulfillment. The star. It's the end of the... It's so interesting how this comes out so different for so different readings. It's the end of the tower. It's the end of the tower. And you're sitting there with your book that on like half of it, or even a bit more than half of it, it feels like, is already been written. And the rest of it is starting with a blank page, and is for you to now write your new manuscript. It's for you to now start to project a new movie. Number 9, ending. It's also unconditional. We have a star there, which is wish fulfillment. You're moving into dreamland where you're going to start to manifest something brand new. Something brand new. I'm getting chills. Okay, guys, I'm gonna shuffle to get 3 cards from this Angel Answers. I forgot to say that this clarifiers were John Holland, Sagittarius by John Holland, if that's interesting for somebody. If you want to fast forward, because sometimes it can take a bit of a while to get, it's like they want to get the exact 3 cards that I'm supposed to have. So you want to fast forward or not. So we're going to move into the silent part. Wow, it's a lot of time in there. Silent part for Libra. Maybe did not have to, yeah. So I'm just going to be completely silent. You just watch the images, take a deep breath, and just clear away everything and anything, and just feel what you feel when you watch the image. They can sometimes be very, very light and bright in the image, and that's sort of good, because instead of trying to see what's there, try to feel what's there, if that makes sense. So then I'm just going to move straight into the extended reading. If that's interesting for you, then the link is in the description box, and I'm just going to sort of say goodbye now, because I'm just going to be silently then leaving the reading. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.